Hey, will you shut that door, Jackie? My door on the plane. It's all LED lights. That's an LED sky beacon with strobe. I believe you can turn the strobe off with your app. LED in my rotating beacon, which is acting strange. Doesn't normally do that. I'll check that out. It's probably just low power. Tail lights LED. That actually may be those lights. Oh yeah, it's flashing on purpose. I just installed those. Little walk around. Let me, the door, it's got stays there that work really well. Those are new. The door shuts great. It's got a decent seal for the age. Pops open to the button. It's got the left, right, and both fuel selector from Dekota Cub. You know, all the switches and everything works. I put a new nav knob here, which allows you to dim the interior lighting, which is really nice because at nighttime it's so super bright, but you can get them low, and those LEDs don't pull hard to anything, and they're not hot. It does have something you takes just a little bit of getting used to, but this is a pull brake with your hand, so there's no brakes on the rudder pedals. These are the flaps, nice and mechanical. They work great. You get a little extra if you pull harder, but it clicks down like that. Airspeed indicators are correct. The DG works fine. It'll hold its direction. It's got a new compass. I put that on a few, probably 2 annuals ago. This is a new tachometer. It was bouncing, so that's new. We moved the ELT. Yeah, electronic, yeah. Is that right? Yeah, that thing right there. I just installed it for the beacon, emergency beacon. The upholstery is in great shape. No cracks in the seat. This is vinyl. This sinks forward. Carpeting in the bottom's good. Yeah, I even cleaned it out, so there's my backup compass. It's all good underneath there. This is good. Upholstery on the ceiling's in good shape. I think holds up pretty well. The only part that the upholstery is really having any trouble is where it's coming apart right up here. And that just, I think, a little glue would help that. I don't know, it's been that way since I got it. The glass or the plastic's good. Had one little micro fracture. It's been this way since I bought it 12 years ago. They fixed that. The other side glass is all good. What do you think, Millie? So in and out here, the doors, you know, there's no major problem, but that's just from going in and out over 60 years. It's all fine. The integrity's good. You can see the cloth is solid. They've done the punch test each time. These little windows are cool. Watch this. You can like open up to get your little vent going. Oh, something you'll really like. It's got 4 headset intercom systems, so your kids in the back can have it. It's got a, where is it? Right here. Nice little intercom. Soft comm. You can even plug in a record and play, so you can, like, when you're getting lessons, you can record the lesson and go back and listen to it again, which is pretty slick. Some of the cosmetic details down here, like these little, you can buy new stuff for this thing. However, you know, it's just cosmetic. It's been that way since forever. This is just insulation. It's not pretty, but the cloth is all good around it. It's all solid. Some cracking on the paint, but the cloth itself is good. So same here. This is not, that's not weak at all. You can see I can really get after it. Somebody's setting your arm right there. That's very comfortable. So you sit there. This little window's nice. Another little crack in this thing, but it's been that way since I bought it. No problems. You can see that. It's just sort of the trim work. I mean, it's a solid plane. Manifold pressure works. The VOR works. Hate seeing it go. I love this thing. Here, have the back door. They do have little locks on them, but pretty well secured. Got another catch there. Oh, these are sealed struts. I spent a good penny getting that on. There's 2,000 bucks and then putting them in just a couple years ago. So they're very nice. That's one of the big problems on the planes is you'll find that they, a little water drip. You'll find that they, on a lot of the accident reports, these struts failed. So these are new and they're sealed with oil. You never have to maintenance them. There's no maintenance to them. Some of them you have to maintenance every so many hours. That clicks open. It's got a nice little stay. You can lock the door so your little one's in there. It's got the little vent on this side. I'll put all this out of the way. Sorry for the mess. Seat belts in the back. Car seats do clip into that, or booster seats. It's got a little cargo area. They call it a hat storage. That's all in great shape. There's nothing hiding under there. I guess something rubbed on that, but it's no big deal. Little access for your pulleys and such. You can see up in there. All good and clean. It's got a, what's called cloth and pipe. So I've got some pictures from inside of these access points from the last annual. Good shape there.
And that's like a solid there.
We actually opened up the top. Let me show you the top. I'll stop this. So here's the top in great shape. It's been hangered. There's no problems with the cloth up here. That is not a big deal, but that is actually new. Everything else is in good shape, no problems. I took these panels off the last annual, and they show the fuel tanks. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with the radio. So anyway, the fuel tanks had a little leak around the seal. Turns out it was a minor problem. They were fixed both sides. I'll show you the pictures of that. But it's all clean underneath there. Had them look everywhere. By the way, this little spot here is not a structural issue, but to repair it is not the major ordeal. Someone that knows what they're doing. Maybe an hour's worth of work. They'll do a patch like this one right here was done years ago before I bought it, but it's not a major deal. But you can see even the rivets under the tanks. It's got a tank on either side. I think it's 16 per tank, 18 per tank, 18 per tank. Right there. All the labels are on it. Prop's in great shape. It's got a couple little nicks, but nothing, actually no nicks, just the paint there. It's in good shape. Nose cone's good. Oh, let's open up the engine cowling. Haven't opened this since I got here today, so what you see is what you get. Really good shape. This is the new stuff, new exhaust. You can see the exhaust pipe down here. It's got proper fireproof hosing, and you know, the carb heat and everything else is in shape. Never burns oil. It's supposed to have 6 to 8. I usually keep it at 6, because once it gets down to 6, there you go. It'll stay at that point all the time. The oil, you can see, is in great shape. Look at it real close. Doesn't have very many hours at all since the annual, because I don't fly it. It's got a belt in the front that runs a generator. It does not have an alternator. That's one upgrade that I have not done to it. There's some info. I sent you some pictures, but the generator works fine. That's why I switched to LEDs. So look at that, screws in there. But the LEDs don't pull as much. It doesn't work well. Like it's kind of finicky. An alternator can run at different RPMs versus a generator. It's got to be a little better to get power. Let's see. Oh, LED landing and taxi light. I put those in. Those are super bright. I love those. And they don't pull anything, so it's nice for that generator. You can have them both running at all times. I like when flying at night, it's nice to be seen, so you turn all that stuff on. And with the old incandescent, I was burning a bunch of power, and I was always worried about when I'd land some foreign airport that when I got ready to leave, it wouldn't have any juice in the battery and I'd be stranded until I could get it charged. But that's not the case with this. Tires are good. The front tire is brand new. The first, no, it's probably got 20 hours on it. The back tires, maybe 50. I don't remember. I had to look at the logs. Underbelly, to show you that there's no leakage. You can see there's nothing on the wheel. The strut holds its air. I haven't added air to that in a while. It's supposed to show 3 inches, which is about 3 fingers. A little bit more. So it's been sitting for a little bit, so probably could add a little nitrogen to that, but that's something your mechanic can do quite easily. There's a little plug in there. Oil filter, oil cooler is there. Good shape. There's the underbelly. You can see there's no oil on the cowling. I haven't cleaned that. I haven't cleaned anything underneath it. You can see no problems. It's all in good shape. It's got your drains, your sumps. The bungees have been there since I bought it. They were brand new when I bought it. I don't know, you just have to watch those. It's got the shock system as a bungee cord system. And so you have to watch that. Pretty much you just start noticing a sag. It is not sagging, it's got plenty of bounce, so we're good there. I won't take the seat off, but down here is the master switch. That's the original. It's in great shape. These are your control cables. There's your master brake cylinder under there. You add oil from it on occasion, which affects this handle we talked about earlier. There's your mechanicals under there. Not any play in there. It's all well taken care of. It slides and moves well. This guy still works, but that's another instrument that I would replace. If I were going to be upgrading this panel, I'd replace that. I'd replace that. Those are both original to the airplane. Clock does not work. The altimeter works. Everything up here works besides the clock, I believe. Fuel gauges are accurate, actually. They are very accurate. I measure it also, but it's never steered me wrong. I'm getting close to the end of my knowledge. I mean, there's a lot to answer. If you had questions, and I can look back through the logbooks. It's got a neat little hook up to the battery here, so I can plug in my, what do you call those? Battery tenders. And it just keeps the battery super hot. That really makes my battery last and last. The battery is still good probably for another year. However, it is probably the oldest reusable item. The park brake works, fuse boxes are good. There's nothing in here that doesn't work aside from the radio. The altimeter, the transponder works, but aside from the radio, there's nothing here that doesn't work. The buttons all work, the intercom works. Structurally and functionally, it is a sound airplane, and I would be perfectly fine. I'd fly to Missouri. I'd do whatever. It'd be fine there. There's no corrosion under all this stuff. Floor mat here. There's no corrosion anywhere. And whenever they redid this battery cable, they had to take up this whole floor under here, all the way up to the front. I showed you those pictures. It goes through the firewall, and I looked closely at everything, and there's not a speck of corrosion anywhere. And like I said, I even stuck my camera up in these little dudes here, all up in there, and it's all clean. The only thing I can say that I found is dirt dauber's nests. It's a few of those, but I popped all those off. That's just a East Texas thing there. This is my hangar. It is not air conditioned, but it is sealed, the door shut, and that's where it stays all the time. You get an occasional bird sneak in. There's no nests in it, but there are a few droppings on occasion, but I clean those off, and that's just part of keeping a plane. Let me know if you need more. I'll send all these pictures and videos, and they're kind of segments and pieces. I might try to put a YouTube together or something so you can watch it all in one. There's the info on the Struts Airframe Alaska. All the control cables are in good shape. Went through all those and checked them real good. Replaced these fittings. I've replaced these little guys here. They're in good shape. That's the cover I just pulled off. I had to fix that in a second when I don't have my phone in my hand. I really, again, there's nothing wrong with the plane. It flies great. It's in wonderful shape for a 1957. By the way, the brakes are good. It will stop really well. That's something you might find as an issue on your forums. Thing. Just realized I haven't cranked it since, at least it's been a couple months at least. So I pulled it out to take pictures. So let's see what it does. You'll see it with me. Just check the oil. I need to do my sumps. Let me go do the sumps. You watch that with me. Check this one. It's clean, no water. It's airplane fuel. There's one under the belly. I'm on the wrong side, but right here. Lots of pressure there, no problem. So there's a gasculator in these things. I have not changed the gasculator. There's a few things online for that. They say if you maintain those properly, they're fine. You can upgrade to one that's nicer and easier to manage and takes care of some of the fuel system issues. But these were well maintained and I've never had a problem from them. They say the mechanic knows what he's doing. I turned the fuel off, so that's not working very well. It's all right, at least we know the fuel valve works. There's no water in that. One more sump. The mechanic knows what he's doing. The gasculators aren't a problem. These are new sumps, by the way. I had these replaced at the last annual. They were leaking a little bit, like that. I've got the fuel on both. I'm gonna put it on this left magneto to start. We're gonna put the mixture full in and prime it 3 times gently. 1, 2, 3. I always pull this out all the way and then ease it back in a little bit. I always kill it at 1,000, but I like to do it the way. Okay, so now I'm actually gonna have to set you up on the cowling, I guess, because I need both hands to start it. You gotta pull the brake back down there with your hand, and then you reach down here under the master, which I'm gonna turn on now, and you start it. So just sit and watch and see what happens. Really gonna show myself here. Embarrass myself if it doesn't start, but let's see what happens. It'll start real well. You'll hear hear how fast it turns. That's those Bogert cables. Here we go. Switch it to both. And it did not disappoint. Fires up every time. Let it run a minute. Steady it out right above 1,000. I'll back that off. I'm gonna lean the mixture. Let me take care of the plane. I'll talk to you in a minute. All right, so run up is typically to 2,000 RPMs. Oh, by the way, we got a new throttle cable on the last annual, so that sucker is just as smooth as can be. But with the part brake anyway on 2,000 RPM, I'm gonna keep it lower. So we're sitting on both. We're gonna click it now. 1 click. There's our drop, pretty clean. Two clicks. There's our drop, pretty clean. The oil pressure is working, the heat is coming up, the dampers are on. Let me pull it back some. Watch the oil pressure drop all the way to idle. Everything's moving as it should. And you can see that generator, that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't work very well at idle. Manifold pressure is moving, RPMs are moving proper. Sucker runs like a champ. I want to go flying now. I might not sell it after hearing all that. Okay, now we're going to shut down, drop it down to 1,000 RPMs. I'm going to come back later and take it for a lap or 2 after that. Before I shut down, let me show you there's my ailerons. Well, you can't really see it, but the stabilizer back there is moving. I guess if the flight controls don't work, then it's a no deal, but there's my flaps, 2 clicks. Okay, it's all done. We're going to kill it. Pull this power back. Turn the master off. You hear all the stuff running over here. And that's it. Get that off there. Okay, one more thing. We're gonna get out. Squeeze it out. In and out's no problem. And the back door makes it really nice for loading kids. And man, you can really load this thing up. So, of course, there's no back window, so you don't have to worry about blocking it. You'll love it. It's a lot of fun to fly, and it's up and down is good, and it actually is pretty fast long distance. It's a little faster than a 172, not much, but a little bit. But man, you can land it in 600 feet. I mean, not loaded up with people, but dirt strips, no problem. These shocks and massive landing gear in the front nose, man, it can handle a beating. Not that I've ever given it one, but it can handle it. If you wanted to take it somewhere unusual.